Hey guys, be sure to press like and subscribe. Today we're going to be talking about insurance and will insurance break your Philippine dream. You know, a lot of people that come over here, some of them come over at 55, some of them come over younger, some of them come over in their 60s. And this is when insurance is still fairly, not costly, but decent priced. Okay? And a lot of people come over here and they look at these different plans over here. And they have a lot of different plans over here, but some of them are just like scam plans. They don't really work well. They don't pay out well, and if you have something catastrophic, it's just not going to cover you. A lot of people are talking about, well, I'll just get travel insurance or something like that. Travel insurance now, I believe, because of what's happened with this current mess that we're in now, a lot of people got stuck in other countries, so they're not going to cover you for probably over several months, 90 days or 4 months at the most. I can guarantee you that those are changing because I read an article the other day that a lot of travel insurance is going to be changing now. A lot of travel insurance that they have on credit cards and stuff like that, all that stuff is going to be changing. So you guys are going to have to really seriously think about having some sort of healthcare insurance while you're here. Some sort of, and a lot of you do. Some of you have like TRICARE. Some of you guys, for you guys that are veterans and think that you're going to come over here and you're going to get taken care of by the VA clinic over here, it's only going to be for service connected, and FMP will pick up any operations or anything like that for service connections, and that's it. You know, so don't think that you can come over here and you're going to fall into the VA healthcare system totally, because you're not going to. It's not going to happen. The other thing is, some of you guys think that if you get sick or something, you'll just travel back to the UK, or you'll travel back to Canada or the US, Germany, Norway, and sickness doesn't work out that way. If you have a heart attack or a stroke, you're not hopping on any plane. I guarantee you. Sickness is something that you need to have taken care of usually immediately. And you need to have some sort of health care over here. You need to have it. Whether it's just a low ball thing and you got $20, $30, $40, $50,000 put aside, and I highly recommend the more the better over here, and having some sort of plan over here, possibly a peso plan, and just something to fall back on and be able to replenish it, like I say in my budgets. But I know some of you guys can't, so some of you guys may have to tap out at a certain age and just say, you know, I'm too old for this, it's starting to get a little costly, I need to go home and head back to the nursing home and check in, you know. And that's just a reality of life sometimes. And you know, you're not going to want to be stuck over here in your elder years with Alzheimer's, because so I think they said like 60 to 70% of people need some sort of nursing home at one time or another in their life. Whether it's for like a week to convalesce, or whether it's several months or whatever. Sometimes people need to go into a nursing home because they've had a stroke or something like that, and then sometimes they get out, and sometimes they have to stay in there permanently. A lot of these nursing homes, they like to keep you permanently because that's their money. But you know, you need to plan out all this stuff and really think about this, guys, because once you hit that 75 mark on up, insurance really blows up over here and anywhere else you are throughout the world. You know, I always recommend people calling Pacific Prime and they give you 10 different quotes. Now you can call them back and say, listen, I only want $250,000 worth of coverage. That's all I need. I'm going to be in the Philippines. It's cheaper insurance over there, or $200,000 worth of insurance. They'll find you insurance like that. They'll find you insurance like that if you need it. You know, so Pacific Prime, as I've mentioned, is one of those. You can find that. You can just Google Pacific Prime Philippines or whatever, and you can email them and they'll send you out 10 different quotes. Pacific Cross is the other one I mentioned. You know, Pacific Cross, I think, is an excellent insurance company. I've heard many good things about Pacific Cross. Filipinos that are wealthier like Pacific Cross. It used to be Blue Cross before, and they switched to Pacific Cross. They changed their name or something, but they used to be Blue Cross before, affiliated with Blue Cross or something before. And you know, they have many good plans on there, but their peso plan is probably not one of their best plans, but it is a good plan to have in place as an emergency. You know, for an emergency that comes up or something like that, because it's not going to cover a lot, and you're still going to need some sort of backup money in the bank. But when you hit that 75 to 80 mark, it still goes up precipitously on their plans for older people. It gets very, very costly, guys. You need to have this stuff written, in your budgets. If you're on a lower budget, and you have that extra money, you need to put it aside for later, so that when you start needing more in your insurance, you have that extra to sail on. You have that extra to ride you up till you pass away. And you also need to have that life insurance in case you pass away also. You got to have this stuff, guys, for both you and your family. You don't want to be over here and live to be 83 or 84 or 85 or even 90 or something like that, and then you can't afford it, and you leave your family nothing because all your money went off into, let's say you had $50,000 or $100,000 in the bank, and all of a sudden you have a major stroke and you're in the hospital for a month and a half or something like that, and the hospital's trying to keep you alive, and then finally you succumb to your illness or whatever, and your wife or your girlfriend has to take all that money out of the bank to pay the hospital to get your body out of the hospital to bury you. And it's a tragedy over here that sometimes things like that happen. Also, the other thing is, guys, if you're over here and you're in a private room, their laws are written that anybody that's I believe it's in a ward or semi-private, I believe it's semi-private too, I think it covers semi-private too, that they can't hold you for non-payment of the bill. They have to negotiate with you or work with you or something. But the second you go into that private room, it doesn't say that they can't hold you or they can hold you, but you're not written into that law that they can that you have to be let go. It's very strange that that's not written in there, and some people have commented on that before, and it is true. I looked into it. It does say that in the law. So when you guys get the peso plan, and you get that private room, you better be able to cover anything else, or they might try to hold you, which is still illegal, I might add, but it's not written into that law, so it doesn't say how to handle that. It doesn't tell you what to do. I still believe it's illegal for them to do that 100%. It's just that in that law, for some reason, they didn't include the private room. So I guess they didn't want people to move up to the private rooms and figure they're going to get away with it. You know what I mean? I think they were trying to push those people that were very poor from asking for a private room. They get into the private room, and then they can't afford to pay for it or whatever, and then they still have to let them out, and the hospital gets holding the bag. So I would imagine that's probably the reason why, but who knows? You never know the way the laws work over here. But anyway, guys, I just want people thinking. We've talked about this. I do worry about all you guys out there. I really do, because when I see these new expats coming over here, they're talking about how much money they have, and it's a tiny amount, and they say that they're still going to come over here no matter what. And some of these guys, they're coming over here at 65 or 68. They've already started taking their Social Security, and they're on these lowball budgets, and it's possible for them to survive on those current budgets and live okay. Okay, but if they have a girlfriend or something like that and the girlfriend's not working, they may have problems. Because later on, as they age, if they're not putting money away now, because you can live over here on some of these budgets that people are throwing out there, but are you going to have good insurance? But you can have decent insurance for, if you're on $1,000 budget, you can have, as long, you can live pretty decent, but you're not going to be living well. You're going to be kind of sitting around the house, and you're going to have to save some money for the future. And I hope that you have some money on the side or something like that. But I don't recommend to anybody coming over here on less than $1,500. And even $1,500 is pushing it, I think. I don't think it's a totally safe thing unless you're banking some of your money. And, a lot of people can bank that money, and you can live pretty well. If you're living alone over here, you're planning on living alone or something like that, it's kind of tough, because then you don't have anybody to take care of you if you get sick, unless you got a really close friend or something like that. And God forbid you get sick, because you're going to have somebody sitting near your side, bringing you food in or helping you out or whatever. And it can be rough on that person, and you also have to have plans to have somebody with you and to help you when you get sick, if you're living alone over here. That's why I tell people over here, you need to have a decent girlfriend that's going to help you out and look after you. You need to have a decent wife that's going to look out for you and take care of you when you get older. And you need to really seriously have all these things thought out beforehand. You know, like if you're in the hospital, how are you gonna get a hold of your money? Because a lot of these guys that come over here, they don't trust their girlfriend, they don't trust their wife or whatever. They don't want any money in their girlfriend's hand or in their wife's hands. They just don't trust them. And if you don't have that trust, then maybe you shouldn't be married or whatever, in the first place. But I'm just telling you, at some point, these women are gonna, when you get sick, they're gonna have to go into your bank account and pull some money out. And if you can't talk or something like that, what are they gonna do for you? They can't pull you out because of the way you have things right now. For me, I want to make sure that my girlfriend has the capabilities of having some money in her hands to bail me out if I'm in the hospital, if I'm sick. And I do put some money aside each month to have aside for us as a family. If one of us gets sick, that we have that, we can bail that person out at the end of their hospital stay. All these are things that we need to talk about, guys. We all need to talk about it. It's important that we talk about. You know, otherwise the Philippines is going to be the land of broken dreams for many. And you're going to come over here, and at the end of your dream, you're going to realize, wow, did I step in a puddle of mud? And now I'm stuck in this. I can't leave because I can't pay my bill or what have you. There's all kinds of messes that can happen over here because of the fact that you got sick and you can't pay a bill or something like that. It causes a domino effect over here for you. And I've been stuck in a hospital where they tried to hold me before. My girlfriend ended up paying. She had the money in her pocket, but I wanted to test them out to see if I could just run out to an ATM machine. And the guard blocked me. He had a gun, and I said, are you going to shoot me? I said, you going to shoot me over a hospital bill because I'm going to the ATM to pay you? I said, this is going to look really, really good in the front page of the newspaper. Man gets shot, expat gets shot trying to go to ATM to pay a hospital bill. And then, finally my girlfriend paid, and that was the end of it. But, I mean, I wanted to kind of press it a little bit because I knew the guy wouldn't shoot me over it. But, I just wanted to make a statement there that they have to make it a little bit easier for people to pay their bills over here. And they do make it very difficult over here on all people over here, whether you're Filipino or expat over here. They make it very difficult. There are some people that get stuck in a hospital. They hold them until the family comes up with the money to pay the bill. And each day they keep adding on to that bill. Guess why? Because of the fact that they're holding the person, so they're actually making more money, and they're almost holding the person hostage. It's illegal. It's illegal for them to do that, but they do it over here. And the likelihood of them doing it with an expat, holding them for several days or months or whatever, is probably not going to happen because most expats would not put up with it, and they could probably push it and get out, just by calling the embassy or something like that. It would become like an international incident or whatever because it's illegal over here. It's against their laws too, but these are things we all have to worry about as expats. So for you new expats that are back home and you're thinking about coming over here, think about the insurance, guys. Think about it, if at least at a minimum have a peso plan over here. Pacific Cross peso plan is the cheapest way out over here. It's going to get you some coverage. At least if you're sick, they'll cover some things. I do recommend at least get the ward or semi-private and have $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 aside or more if you can. And I just don't like seeing guys come over here and having their dreams smashed. I'd rather have you guys stay home and live in the U.S. than come over here and live 10 years and then have your dreams smashed and leave a big mess for yourself and be in a big mess. It's better to stay home and have full coverage back there and reinvent your dream back there. And I know it's tough back home right now with all the things that are going on to do things, but there are things that you can do. There's many different lifestyles that you can choose in the United States. I mean, we have van lifers out there. If you want to travel around the United States and see the United States, maybe that's the way for you to go, or live in a boat or something like that. I know retirees want to live, and I know they want to move about, and I know they want to dream, and I know that they want to be able to live that retired life. And you can, guys, you can. Some people can sell their homes or whatever and move into like a smaller home, maybe up in the mountains or something like that somewhere, maybe to a tiny home or into a trailer or whatever, and you're still living good, guys. And it's kind of fun living up in the mountains and waking up in the morning and seeing the mountains out there. And granted, the United States is changing really fast, and I understand why a lot of people want to get out and come here. And and it's the same way in Canada, the United Kingdom, Australia, and many other countries. The world is just changing so fast, and it's the same way over here, guys. It's changing over here too, and it's not changing for the better. Asia is changing just as fast as all these other countries are. They're all changing. The whole world is changing as we know it. And people think like the Philippines is the Philippines of old, and it used where we could run around fast and free, and we lived the life over here, back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and even in the 90s. It's not that way anymore, guys. It is to a certain extent still free over here. I love it over here. I love my freedoms over here. And some people say, well, you don't have freedoms. You're under their government, and you don't have the same freedoms that you have in the United States. I think I do. I just kind of ignore what's going on around me, the government. Like I pay attention to the news and stuff like that, but Filipinos are pretty free over here. I mean, yeah, there's checkpoints and stuff like that because of all this mess that's going on now. I mean, that's all over the world, guys. In the United States, you guys still have your messes, It's everywhere until this is over, if it ever gets over. But anyway, guys, I want to throw that out there because I know a lot of you guys are hurting from both this mess that's going on in the world right now, and to be thinking about insurance right now, it's kind of hard. And I know you guys can't get in the country right now. But when you do get in the country, make sure that you don't just come over here on a wing and a prayer without some sort of plan. And go through some of my videos, and please check out my videos, guys. I explain all the things in there, and there's a lot of little tidbits in there that you will learn and pick up on how to survive over here, and how to make it over here, and how to live better over here, how to get money over here, how to get your credit cards over here. I have all that stuff in my videos, okay? And I really can't stress enough out there, guys, that you learn a lot from my videos. It's stuff that I studied for 4 years before I came over here. I broke down everything. I checked out the laws. I had time to do this because I used to work on weekends as a security guard. And I studied all this stuff on weekends, and I read up on all this stuff. That's how I got all my information. A lot of people, when they come over here, they don't come over here on the visa that I come over on. I come over on the SRRV courtesy visa, okay? And when I talked to some of the expats when I first got here, they were all surprised that I was already a resident, and it gave me like a sense of pride that, hey, wow, I'm way ahead of the rest of the gang, because I planned. And I try to instill upon you guys that you guys need to plan too. And if you plan it right, guys, over here, even if you're just on a tourist visa, you'll live way better over here than you will back in the United States, provided that you're fairly healthy, and you have some sort of insurance policy over here. Okay, guys? And I can't instill that enough upon you guys. And I wish you guys the best and a happy Easter. And God bless, guys. Take care.